Good morning, good day, and good evening. I'm, as always, your host, Brody Robertson, and today we have someone who you might know some of his previous work, maybe you don't. This is Nuno Pinheiro, who has been involved in KDE design for a while, and maybe you recognize him from his prior work on Oxygen, or maybe his recent work on Oxygen as well. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. Also,
I guess, yeah, for anyone who's unaware of who you are and what you do, that was a relatively brief introduction, but I'm sure you've done plenty of other things as well.
right. Oof. By trade, this is okay. I like to tell this story. By trade, I'm a civil engineer.
Okay.
That's my thing. Was my thing. And then this is how does one come into the mists of open source? So I was trying to after college. I was in construction sites. I didn't like that too much. It was fine, but it's not my cup of tea. I thought, okay, I'm going to do a non-linear analysis of structural elements, and I'm going to do my own thing, right? So as like when you're a kid and you don't know anything, you think these sort of things, right? So I thought, okay, I'm going to learn C++. Easy stuff, right?
Sure.
Sure. How do I learn C++? Don't know. Okay, let's talk. This is not today when you actually have a lot of resources. This is 22 years ago. 22
Right.
years ago, internet was flaky at best. So if you want to learn C++, you buy books and things like that, and you train on open source. I decided I'm going to train on open source because there's a lot of people there. They're going to help me, blah, blah, blah. So I started learning C++ because I'm going to do my own matrix calculations, all of that. Yeah, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not knowing things is the best way of doing things. So I went there. C++ not too hard. I was getting it, but then I reached a little thing called pointers, memory pointers, and I got stuck. Well, never, ever anyone said this. Well, again, clueless. So I just I was using a little messaging app back then, and I didn't like the icons. So I didn't like the icons, and I made some new icons for that.
Do you recall what the app was?
For that. KMS. KMS, interesting story about that. It's no longer a app that exists. As far as I know, it was like a clone to use the message the Microsoft Messenger thing.
Yeah,
I don't even remember the original.
A client for MSN Messenger. Wow,
Exactly,
that takes me back.
Oh, dude, I've been wild. Right. Interestingly enough, well, another story there. So I decided to do those icons. I published those icons on KDE Look, a website from a not well-known guy that did all of the own cloud, Nextcloud thing. Random guy. So I put it there. A lot of people liked it. And yeah, today I'm no longer a civil engineer since 20 something years ago. And I started doing a lot of design stuff. First, I started with icons. Started doing a few icons for OpenOffice back then, doing a version of what was KDE using back then, which was a theme called Crystal. And OpenOffice didn't have, yes, it was OpenOffice. Then I need to go through my history of things. It's still OpenOffice by Sun. I think it was the Sun Systems. Anyway, I had to sign a weird document so that I could do things there. So I started making the icons for OpenOffice in the style of Crystal, which was the style previous to Oxygen in KDE. So, and that got me a few people interested. Then I got invited to work on this new thing called Oxygen for KDE 4, which was going to be revolutionary. It was. It was revolutionary. And then, things went there for funny story, that that Messenger app I mentioned
Mm.
was the same first app used by my colleague back then in Oxygen, really also really well-known designer, David Pignoni. His first icons were also for that app. So the icons I was replacing that I didn't like were from him, which currently I'm really, we became really good friends. But yeah, small world, really, really small world. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So blame C++.
So around about when did you get involved with Oxygen then?
Well, 20 years ago, something like that. That was when it started. And back then it was, so I was sponsored by SUSE back then for, I guess, 3 months. And then there was a whole kerfuffle in SUSE back then, and most of those projects were abandoned. But I'm a stubborn idiot, and I decided to keep at it because it was fun, and I was learning a lot, and I had great people back then to help me learn, and then we kept on doing things, even though there was no sponsorship. We just did it like everybody does things, and yeah, I choose. So again, not having any idea of how complicated it could possibly be, I went and did it, and it's absurd. The amount of work that a theme like Oxygen implies is it's certifiably insane. It's completely insane, the amount of what that entails. Plus, on that specific time period, this is the moment where the thing that we're probably going to talk about a lot starts to exist, which is back then we started to have the drift. We had Qt styling. That's it. All of it in Qt 3.5 days was Qt styling. There was nothing else. The Plasma, there's no Plasma before. Like this is all new. So all of that had to be created from scratch. The concepts, all of that. I was there back then because I was doing more of that sort of work. The design, like Oxygen style, the Qt style is completely my design. The Plasma thing, well, I was deeply involved with that in the beginning. So all the concepts of Plasma back then. So yeah, I was very much involved in that. Also the icon stuff, which is the grunt of the work. To be honest, in terms of work that people spend, like designers spend in this sort of things, especially on Oxygen, the icon design represented 70 to 80% of the work. Oxygen, it's insane. Why?
Yeah. Why is icons the major workload there?
Okay, so Oxygen style. We'll go. The icons were from a time period where ultra realism was the thing. All of them are SVGs. So we were using SVG before SVG was cool, and we were using SVG in a way, like to the full extent of what SVG can be done. I had icons back then that the rendering phase would take half an hour.
Right.
Yes. I didn't have the best computer in the universe. And the rendering system in Inkscape is not the most performant.
And I'm sure it was worse back then.
Yeah. So it was very complicated, and we were exploring. I'm still exploring SVG to the fullest degree. A lot of masking, a lot of all of the things that you wouldn't expect a vector application to do. I was doing it, and we were doing it back then. And some icons are absurd amounts of work. Really, they really take a lot of time. I just did an icon again in the same style for Oxygen, which is the little camera, the video camera icon. And I did that one. And it took me 3 days to do it.
Right. Okay.
The new ones that we've been doing, the monochromatic one line kind of thing, the symbolic icons, in 3 days I probably can pull off like 40, 50. So it doesn't even compare. It's like a completely different universe.
Right. From a scalability factor, I can't. We'll talk more about flat design and all this later.
Yeah.
But from a scalability factor, I do understand why. Like, that's the direction things have gone then.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. No, we can. Well, we'll talk about that because that's I had problems with that. Like, doing the 3-day icons was my thing. When all of the simplicity lands, I felt a little bit cheated out. Anyway, so yeah, that was how I ended up doing Oxygen. It was a massive project. It is a massive project, but I ended up, and we ended up finding I'm a little bit of an annoying person, so I go and annoy people. I just try and find people that do things, and I annoy the hell out of them to make them do things. So that's why Oxygen actually managed to be a Qt style theme, a Plasma theme, a sound theme, a cursive theme, a font theme, I'm missing a bunch of things for sure. Well, there's more things to Oxygen than it's absurd. Absurd is always the word I have for it.
So what were the, I guess, like, we can see what Oxygen looked like, but what were the design principles that were guiding it at the time?
Depends a little bit on the specific theme. That's something that was peculiar about Oxygen. So the icon theme, for example, icon theme is really a co-owned thing. It's mine and David's, the person I talked about. We were the designers of the thing. It's very much a child of its time, a child of Crystal, the Crystal icon set from Everaldo. Amazing designer. And it was kind of an inbreed of what was being done back then at macOS, in Windows as well, and yes, very much a child of Crystal itself, but much more complete. Was an extremely complete icon theme back then. It still is, and was one of the first ones trying to adhere to the free desktop naming convention. So that made us do a ton of other icons that we wouldn't do otherwise, but because there was a free desktop convention, okay, we're going to do also these icons. So yeah, that's the icon stuff. The Oxygen Qt style, that is very simple. I was having a meeting right here with my colleagues, and I thought, okay, we need something a little bit more modern, a little bit more, and a little bit more futuristic looking in terms of how we stretch Qt style from what it was. So if you know what it was in Qt 3.5, we had plastic, which was a nice theme. It was it was also skeuomorphic in a way, but it was very monochromatic.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
It could actually pull off its own way today. It's kind of the vibe of today, but back then more because they weren't pushing the limits of what Qt styling could do. So I was sitting here, and I thought, okay, we should do something, I don't know, maybe slabs of stone. That's actually the idea of Oxygen Old. Oxygen Old is slabs of stone. Everything's stonish like. And I wanted to do something that was more realistic in terms of how we perceive reality. So when you see a stone, or anything on any surface, it won't be completely monochromatic. That's impossible. Light scatters as a point of direction, so you always add some sort of gradient on it. And I went for this radial gradient all over, not knowing how complicated possibly this could be. It was actually quite complicated, and a lot of people cried over my idiotic ideas. Nobody said no. Well, a lot of people said no. I just didn't take the no. Anyway, so that was the main idea for Oxygen Kid Style. And there was a lot of iterations over it, but it's still pretty much what you see today. And I think that was probably the one I'm most proud of, because even today, it still kind of works. I still use it today, and it's still. So I managed to somehow, I think, get something that was slightly intemporal. That it wasn't so much a child of the day back then that it wouldn't last. There's a lot of design languages that are very today, and a few years after, it just looks old. Oxygen, the Kid Style, I think it was okay-ish, and it hold its ground quite well, luckily. And then we had the Plasma stuff. So in Plasma stuff, it was on purpose different, because KDE back then was kind of getting. Well, we had a massive problem in KDE back then. What you see the desktop was just basically the background of the file manager, which is actually what Windows was doing. So the Windows, also the background was the file manager. So KDE, not to be outdone, did the same thing. Anyway, so we decided, okay, this doesn't make sense. We're going to have to fix this. And smarter people than me, which is okay. It's not hard to be smarter than me, but smarter people than me decided, okay, we're going to do Plasma, and Plasma it was in the beginning like a proper replacement for your desktop background, where you have your wallpaper, the taskbar, and obviously we're going to introduce widgets, which was kind of a thing back then. It's still kind of useful these days, and all the things that Plasma brought. And we wanted to, because of that, because it was like a new thing and an exciting technology, we purposely didn't make it exactly the same as the Kid Style. It wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't look different. It wouldn't expose the themability possibilities that Plasma brings. Plasma, in terms of themability, was a lot more freer than Kid Style. Kid Style is old. It has a lot of baggage. It was created basically 30, 40 years ago. So it allows you to do a lot of things, but it doesn't allow you to do a lot of other things, which Plasma hoped and fixed it in many ways. So and Plasma, well, it's SVG based. We can do a lot of things. SVG is so cool, and we did it something radically different. So I went for what is called Oxygen theme on Plasma, which was the black stuff that we were fixing it and putting it back again. But it was out there. It was very flashy and stuff, and black. And people don't like black that much. So I got a lot of interesting. So you see how design trends change over the years, and people are victim of design trends. But you being the first one, right? Terrible experience. It's a terrible experience to be the guy that is right when everybody else is wrong. They're not wrong. There's no wrong and right in these things. But anyway, we were trying to push like the black stuff for contrast. We didn't like it much, so we came up with a couple of distros releases afterwards. The fact, okay, maybe there was a little bit of Stockholm syndrome going on. KDE 4 was so great in the beginning. So the black stuff was the stuff that was very broken. So I think we introduced air in 4.2, I
Mhm.
think, which is like when it started to work,
Right,
like
right.
being usable. So yeah, maybe that's also a reason why we changed. But it did change. So basically, there's two very different themes in Oxygen in terms of as Plasma goes,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
it's the air theme, which is light and breezy and airy, and there's the Oxygen theme, which is the old one, slightly older, like old. We're talking 1 year apart.
Right, right.
Um, but it's more flashy and black and stuff. There was a time that I tried to make everything black in
Mhm.
KDE. Uh, till
How'd that
this
go
day,
for you?
till this day, people make fun of me about that. Yeah, so people don't like black a lot. So I'm still trying to figure out if that's a global thing or if I can change it. I keep on trying to change it. We just introduced a brand new color theme for Oxygen, the cute style that is mostly dark. Maybe it will pick up this time, 20 years after.
Surely this time will be different.
Yeah.
So, how did you find yourself getting involved with the sort of revival of Oxygen?
um, okay, that's interesting.
Hmm.
Uh, Let me go a little bit backwards.
Okay.
Let's start with the end of Oxygen.
Hmm.
Okay, so when I was doing the 4 series, I said to everyone that were willing to listen and ignore me, that I was going to do the 4 series and the 4 series alone. I'm not going to do any more of this. This is insane. Yeah, I was burned out a bit. It's an insane amount of work. So I said to everyone, like I'm doing 4, and when 5 comes, you guys should find something else.
Mhm.
Start to do something else, and I don't know. So I said, nobody believed me, and then I stopped doing things. and the miracle of open source is that new people started to show up, and a new group started to show up. It was the visual design group, the VDT.
Yeah.
And I was very much involved with that in the beginning, up to the point where I made them. I was trying to extract myself from that equation, not be myself around them, and like impose my opinions. I do have a few
I couldn't tell.
on on everyone. So and I was trying to keep away, and I did something that I till this day I regret. I gave them a image, a wallpaper kind of thing that I made. That I told them, okay, maybe you guys go for this sort of language design thing. That's the wallpaper for KDE 5.0. I made them promise that they wouldn't use that in any place. So the triangle stuff started with goddamn me. I was so pissed that I completely cut off the thing, and I said nothing. Like no, I'm not.
I'm trying to find that specific wallpaper. It's somewhere.
Yeah, it's somewhere. It's definitely somewhere. So it's the first wallpaper for KDE 5 was again mine, and I made them promise you guys are not going to use this at all. But so that became the thing, and that proved, like, made me nope, bye. I was done, and I was really done. I thought that when the new design, so the KDE 5 and anyone that is around KDE knows that when a new kit version comes, there will be a new KDE version that comes as well, with delay of 1 to 2 years. But it gives you enough time to think. So I knew that I was leaving, and this is when Metro Design by Microsoft is pulling off, and the writing is on the wall. They were calling it modernism. I never thought it was modernism. I think it's It's just postmodernism taking inspiration in the past blindly and using it as reference. But I was saying it was modernism. I don't think it ever was. Anyway, I'm a little bit pissed with this with this stuff, because now any junior designer can do what I do easily. Like, let's not start with AI, okay? Let's not talk about AI, because that gets me
Right,
way more
that's a whole nother question. But when we're talking about, especially if you're going like full in on the way that Microsoft was designing it, you're arguing about the size of colored squares. That's the design. That's the design question.
And I'll be fair, I liked it. It's the sort of design. Okay, I know that I was seeing it and saying this is going to fail bad. Because I like it. I like that sort of design. That's design for designers. That's the sort of design that goes well on print. On print media, it's bold, it's vigorous, it chops off fonts, it plays with things like that. I like that sort of thing. It's not my thing, right? It wasn't my skill set. My skill set is working 3 days on an icon. It was that skill set which exposes a lot of your flaws as a designer. You need to be a really good designer to pull off simple stuff. Pulling off simple stuff is way harder than elaborate stuff. You can hide your flaws as a designer in a lot of work on top, a lot of layering on what you do. If things are really simple, your flaws are really visible. It's really easy to see that you're flawed as a designer. So yeah, I was pissed because I would have to be a better designer in a way. But yeah, that was a good thing in some ways. I got lost again.
We were talking about the end of Oxygen, and then we started talking about modernism and Metro design.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So how do I restart this? Okay. So KDE 5 goes by. There's a new Qt in town. I know something. Okay, we're going to do something new, right? Right? Like, I'm expecting something new in KDE land. And I thought, okay, maybe I can do something new. Also, I was going through a period in my life that I was pondering things. What am I going to do? 40 and stuff. So I think I'm going back to KDE, but I'm going to do all the things that I couldn't do and I didn't do back then without the constraints of being default. Oxygen was a default theme.
Right.
And being a default theme, it has a lot of constraints that optional themes don't have. Like, I was always having to listen to annoying people saying that they don't like black. And I listened. What if I didn't? What if I did what I want to? So I started playing around. If I had no limitations and I could do whatever I want to, what would I do? What if I do what I like and not what I think is going to be popular, or going to be not even popular? It's going to be well accepted by the most amount of people. So that when I start thinking about, okay, O2, I couldn't use O2, so it became it is Oxygen squared, not O2. Just to make that clear, people always get confused and try to explain chemistry to me. I know chemistry, dude. O2 is it's a brand. We cannot use that. Yeah. So I started doing Oxygen squared and trying to. I have a complete design language for that. It's now dated. It was very much a product of a particular time. Like, I got the neon pink and blue before the neon pink and blue became a thing, and now I can't look at it because it really became a thing. Like, Jesus, being right before time sometimes is good, sometimes is horrible. Yeah, that thing became way too popular. So now I'm pondering what I should do in that regard. Anyway, I've over the years I've made way too many themes. so I can come up with them easily.
Mm,
The thing I care more about is the platform, the
mm,
place where I can be creative and where other people could potentially be creative. Because auction was a lot of fun.
mm.
The default time where I was like going to random guys that do fonts and saying, "Hey, why don't you do a font for a kitty? We have like users, tens of them." And convincing people that they should do it, that they should do a font thing, a
Mm, mhm,
sound thing, a cute thing, is a lot of fun. People were having fun.
mm,
I was
mm,
having
mm.
fun back then, and people on Action were having fun. So I think people should there should be a platform like that where people can have uh, this fun that I have,
Mm.
and maybe join me in that process, because it's way more fun to do it with other people than doing it all by yourself.
Right, right.
How does it come exactly to the coming to today? This
Yes,
is
yes, that's where
optional.
we're
Okay,
going.
okay. How does it come? So I kept on maintaining old Oxygen as far as I could be bothered to,
Mm,
mostly because I'm a user. Yeah. So I'm still a user, so I keep on maintaining the things I can maintain.
mm.
Usually, sometimes I would push some icons because I was missing them on my screen. I couldn't bear the option. Okay, I'm going to do this one because, yeah. Um,
Read
and
it
then
later.
Philip, yeah, and then Philip shows up. I'm going to fix these things, this oxygen stuff and air, and okay, I'm all in. I'm willing to help. That's it. I already had the channel slightly open for the Oxygen 2 thing.
Hmm.
He joined in, and we now have more people working. We have Prepart is doing icons. For Yeah, again, icons 80% of the work. But things are moving along nicely, and we're going to put Oxygen old
Hmm.
in a usable state. It's interesting because even though it was I declared it dead at the end of 4. I
Mm.
told everybody at KDE it's dead.
Mhm.
Come up with something new. Even so, they didn't quite listen to me. They kept on maintaining it. Roughly, it only got really broken with Wayland,
Mm.
because it is a
Ah.
theme.
Yep.
It was a theme completely made for a world that wasn't that, and the fact that it kind of works in Wayland is a testimony of of how well it was. Well, how well Qt style is done, to be
Mhm.
fair. The fact that it's C++ based, and aka internally it's mostly a vector,
Mhm.
described vectorally, it scales nicely. So it didn't completely broke, apart from a few things. The shadows were terrible. Um, yeah, there were bugs. Let's say it like that. If you
Sure.
tried the fractional scaling, most other than that, it kind of worked. There were just a few things. So we got most of those fixed for the next release, and people get to use something that is, hey, not as old as I am.
So you were already like kind of there before Philip showed up. Like you were already
Yeah, yeah.
sort of maintaining it yourself, just not to the point where anybody else is going to be using it.
Yeah, only to the point where people were annoying enough, or I was okay. First, me annoying myself, really high on the priority list.
Mm-hmm.
Other people finding bugs, it's mostly my shame. Like,
Mm.
I'm supposed to maintain this. Come on, like, fix this one. It would only take a year or 6 months for a bug to be fixed. It's just icons.
Mm-hmm.
The rest was semi working. Oh, there is one thing that is really broken.
Mm.
Kirigami QML stuff, which,
Right.
yeah, that is, and it's really broken, and the fix is not trivial, because it's something that, well, it wasn't expected back then when Oxygen was originally created,
Mm-hmm.
because it's in that space of when the cute guys decided to create something similar to Plasma, but it wasn't Plasma, but kind of, um, is in that in between of things of type of drawing things that is not Qt styles. But it was also wasn't Plasma, and I wasn't around to do well. And I said it was dead. So why would anyone do a Kirigami style for Oxygen? So that one needs to be done, and it's not going to be easy at all. We'll see. I know a little bit of QML. I know more than a little bit of QML. Not going to be easy for a very quirky reason of how in KDE, I forgot one of the themes, KWin.
Oh, yeah,
also,
that's another one.
Another thing that we need to do, KWin theming. And if you know something about Oxygen, in Oxygen you see no KWin. So that's the whole concept. It's a slab of stone. There's no concept of a separation between the window decoration and the window itself. It always felt to me a little bit of a abstract separation. And I find it. I could tell you stories about all my fights with the KDE people to get rid of the tile, the colored top, and to make the thing seamless. Again, being right before the time. So that was a long and hard fight, and that's interesting. That's the reason why Oxygen windows have the glow, the blue glow around them, the active one. That was my solution for people that wanted to have the title bar in a different color. We had plenty of solutions for that. All of them horrible, as far as I was concerned. Default land. I have to appease the gods by my pound of flesh. But my final solution, our final solution in Oxygen land was the glow of active windows, so they glow blue around them. That was the fix for the KWin being able to be seamless, the same color as the window. Now that will create a big problem, and you can see that on the new, if you use Oxygen and you see a Kirigami app, that it gets broken. You have the decoration, you have like the little radial gradient, and then you have the Kirigami stuff and it's flat.
Right.
Because coordinating that gradient between two different apps is not trivial at all.
Okay.
There's two different, very different objects drawing the same thing, and it needs to be coordinated in a way that you don't notice it. And it's a freaking radial gradient, and the center is somewhere in between them. My developers love me.
Right.
Now you see the big problem.
Okay.
How hard could it possibly be? Very hard. That scratching of head, I saw that so many times.
Yeah. I guess you would have to calculate where along the gradient you're starting from and redraw it from that point.
And remember, the KWin sizes vary, and the window doesn't know.
Right.
And that changes. Right. Yeah. The developer really, really loved me, just for a stupid radial gradient. Have you any idea how many times I heard, do you really need this?
I understand the problem now. I see the issue.
Yeah. Cannot give that up. That is core Oxygen. That stupid gradient is the defining object of Oxygen Qt style. So we're things that we're going to do in the future. We're going to try with Union to see if we can pull it off. It's actually a very interesting exercise for Union to be able to pull off this thing that I just explained. We'll see.
For anyone who's unaware of Union, I've talked about it in previous episodes before, but this, basically my understanding is it's a thing that is there to bring all of the disparate theming systems together. But I'm sure you have a lot more to say on that.
I have too many things to say on that. Yes, that's the idea.
Mhm.
That's the idea. I remember having this. So when I was starting the Oxygen 2 thing, I was going everywhere trying to find a C++ developer willing to be as crazy as the other C++ developers that helped me with the gradient.
Mhm.
Oh, my ideas for the future are way more insane than the gradient. Way worse.
Uh-huh.
Way worse than that. This is easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So I'm trying to capture. Okay, I have to find some idiot. Oh, sorry, smart person,
Victim.
victim, willing to help me. So I go to academy in Greece
Mhm.
to do a training there about kit design or something like that. But also to cunning plan in the back, like maybe find someone willing to help me out. So the current guys at Union was also thinking about that, and I was like pushing them. Okay, you got to help me. So could we do something that enabled me to do this? And I was showing my mock-up for Oxygen 2 and stuff. And they got really excited. Okay, yeah, we could do that. We should do that. We should do a new theming engine for KDE, and we should fix the mess that we have. It's a mess. It's a real mess, and it's a mess. And so it's not a default of KDE. We have kit styles. We then created Plasma, great idea, and then the kit guys landed QML on us, and QML is great. I love QML, but come on, the third system. And they all have their way of doing things. They are all different. And doing a full theme is an absurd amount of work. Absurd, and you need to know a lot of different skills. Theming cute styles. If you want to do it in a good way, you have to do it in C++.
Right.
You can do things with CSS. I have mixed feelings on that. But yeah, Plasma theme, a lot of work. And you have to know SVG to be able to work them. Plasma is QML, border images all over the place, very pixmap based, not great on the vectors. Like you can draw anything as long as it's a rectangle. That's Plasma for you. So yeah, we get this problem. If you want to make something consistent, you need to work and you need to know a lot of tools. It's great that Union is going to try to tackle this and try to, with, as far as I know, a lot of CSS try to make a something where within the same scope of language. I'm even not sure exactly how it's going to work. It's going to be applied all over. So be it a QML app, a Qt Styles app, and Plasma, which I'm still not sure again they're going to pull that on off, but I'm willing to try it. Yeah, so all of that with the CSS, which probably a great idea. It's definitely a great idea to lower the barrier for idiots like me that are not as stubborn as I am, and that they want results, right? Because the problem with being me and wanting the greatest thing and the craziest thing, you need to learn all this stuff. You need to learn C++, you need to learn QML, you need to learn SVG and Plasma, quirky way of doing things. So if there's this one system that lowers the barrier a lot, that is well documented, we will love, hopefully, a lot more theming going on KDE, and that's a good thing.
My understanding is, because it is a system that has to unionize everything, it is obviously going to have... It's going to have to limit to an extent what can be done.
Yep. That's my fear.
Right.
That's and I'm pushing them in order to, okay, I'm going to come up with ideas and absurd ideas, and you guys see what you can pull off from this. What things I'm doing here, I'm designing here, that we can implement it for real. And
Mhm.
in the middle of this, we'll find out like I'm trying to push the boundaries.
Right, right.
To be fair, the boundaries I want to push really are even beyond what QML does right now. What Qt style? Oh my god, what Qt style? Qt style is the worst. It's great, but it's also the worst.
Mhm.
I wanted to push the boundaries of what people are doing within our ecosystem in terms of theming, of visual user experiences. Of wow, there's yeah, we can do a lot more, and I think we should do a lot more. I'm planning on doing a video on this with better resolution, so people don't complain about the resolution of the videos. Who can that possibly be? With better resolution, a lot of more zooming, because you know how it goes. Like I did a couple, but I'm just showing the things that I do
Sure.
here, and I don't care. I think I'm just trying to show something I thought it was cool, but I'm not caring too much, and I think it's going to be obvious. No, it's never obvious. I want to do maybe a video about something that is completely different, not even Oxygen 2, something completely absurd, but that shows like the sort of thing that I would like to see people being able to do. People pushing for doing it. So I think I'm going to publish a video about that, and probably it's going to be long, and it's going to be insane. The things I'm thinking is insane. I'm thinking shadows being propagated and reflected on other widgets, reflections of widgets on widgets. None like Qt style, not the tool at all. But I get to paint the background. If I'm painting the background, I notify the background that I'm painting something. I could. And if I paint another layer on top, where things, and I play with shaders,
right.
I think, yeah. I know I can do this in QML. I will do this in QML because I've done similar things in QML. And it's going to be very wow in terms of visuals. And why? Why would anyone live with such a thing? But I already have kind of a title for the video. Not why, just because. Something like that.
I'm very curious about this.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the sort of thing that I'm trying to push for and trying to see if we can come up and create in the future. See, point new directions and make a safe space for that. That was always my goal in all of my doings in KDE and in open source, is to create spaces that are safe for designers in our world. Our world it's filled with, I don't know if you noticed, we have a share of autistic people that will tell you straight on your face what they think about you and what you do, and will not shut up about it. So it's sometimes we get this sort of people around and does that, like, if you're a designer like me that is a civil engineer and this is all just fun and I don't take myself too seriously, that's fine.
Sure.
But if you are a starting designer and you're not sure about your skill set and you're still playing along, and it's not great to have like the onslaught of opinionated people saying that what you do is horrible and you're destroying the reason why open source is the greatest thing in safe place.
Right.
The only one to be abused here is me. So that's kind of the thing I always try to create safe spaces for other designers to grow, because it's designing in open source is one of the most enriching experience for a designer ever. You get exposed to problems that you need to work at Microsoft or Apple to be exposed to those problems. You need to work in all of those massive corporations to even smell the sort of problems a designer faces in a project like KDE, a project like GNOME, a project like all of the projects in open source have to deal with fundamental things that are rare on the day-to-day life of, let's make another website or make an app for something. I find that super boring and doesn't give you the range of knowledge that open source can give a designer. And then it's a pity that designers don't feel at home on open source projects. It's easy to feel like they are not understood a little bit. It's the very developer mentality, very pseudo rational way of dealing with reality versus the playful spirits that designers want. And yeah, that's always my main goal, is to foster that and make design in open source grow. And I because I had great mentors when I was joining this. I had great people helping me and telling me, yeah, you're doing good, even though it was terrible. It was so bad. Oh, I delete everything I don't like. Everything I don't like, delete it, never to be reminded of my own incompetence. Because of all this oxygen stuff that's going on now, I was looking at old stuff. Like I was going through the archives. Oh man, that's depressing. That's so depressing. Seeing your incompetence splattered on your screen. Jesus Christ. But I kept at it because other people told me I was okay. And I was doing a good job. Keep at it. So that's my goal. Keep at it, dude. I can help you. I know a few things, and you can do awesome and have fun, basically.
What are some of the examples of these big problems you run into in open source?
All of the. How do you make a system panel, a configuration panel for millions of users that they don't complain too much about? Hey, make things for millions of users. Try to make something that caters to someone living in Nebraska and someone living in West Africa. Be mindful of color choices, because that color doesn't work well in that place of the world. Right. Dealing with all left to right, right to left, text vertical. All of this massive. When you work in a project that is global, you have global problems. You have to cater for so many little things that one as a designer doesn't usually cater, because like if I'm going to do a product for customer work, I usually I have a meeting with some suits. I ask them a few questions, try to figure out what's the user base, and it's always kind of the same thing. Like the user base tends to be limited. It tends to be this product serves a purpose for a certain type of user. So small scope. This isn't small scope. This is everybody. Or okay, like or Matthias Zetrich's girlfriend. We're still trying to do the desktop for Matthias Zetrich's girlfriend. Wife, I think. I don't know. So yeah, it's a much bigger scope in terms of the problems and things that you do than normal apps.
So basically, you are put in front of so many users who come from so many different areas, so many different backgrounds, that you really have to think about what you're doing with your designs.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
and also thinking like in terms of theming, because you're not catering for example, when I do an app for a customer, I'm thinking about that app. I'm just thinking about, okay, it needs to have a design, and it's just for that app. When you do KDE theming or GNOME theming or other thing, we're not thinking about a single app. We're thinking of a range of things. We're thinking, oh, I need a design language that works for a file manager, or a simple calculator that just has a couple of buttons, or KDE Live that has a gazillion buttons, or Krita that has a gazillion buttons, and it is a complete and absurd spectrum of things that you need to cater for, and that your design system must adhere to in order to solve all of those issues. Which, to be fair, kind of was the greatest flaw in Oxygen. So at the end of Oxygen, one of the things that I believe was my personal flaw was not achieving the next step, which the visual design group tackled far better than we did, which is the next step. So you create a theme, but each app needs to have it needs a designer looking at it. See, okay, within the rules that we've defined, within the systems that we created, how do we make this app here, use it correctly, and think the flows, the interaction flows, all of the stuff on a per app basis. And that requires a team much bigger than Oxygen was. That requires I wouldn't say hundreds, but dozens of designers that know how to work together. That's a completely different can of worms. Designers working together and design by committee is they're not going to design by committee, but having this sort of core team that knows the spirit of the language and then can spread it around.
Right, it's not design by committee. You have the same vision. It's just spreading the workload across different people.
Yeah. Being able to and avoiding the design by committee. That's always the problem. But you need to be a really good designer, and a really good designer with not a lot of ego at the same time. Everybody wants to put their mark on things. That's normal. That's human nature. So in order for this to work, you need to be part of a group, not have a lot of ego, try to make the best, stop being a little bit of so much of a designer and become a little bit more of an engineer in a way, where you just kind of blindly apply the method and then revise the method if you see that it's more of a. And I understand why it's harder to convince people to do that, because it's not as fun. It's fun dealing with the developer. I like that. I like dealing with the developer. I like calling people stupid, and that gives me a lot of opportunity to call, that's stupid. Why are you doing like this? Yeah, got into a few problems like that. But that's still fun, but it's not as fun as just doing what you can all by yourself. Like a couple of guys doing global themes and not caring about the consequences of those things.
One thing I often hear about KDE, and I feel like this is another one of these things which goes back to KDE 4. So, people will say KDE's buggy. We go back to KDE 4. People say, KDE's the design is inconsistent. We're back to KDE 4. And as you're saying here, like, this is the complexity of dealing with this problem. Like, it's not inherently the fault of KDE. It's just, this is the work. Like, this is the amount of people that were working on the design at the time. It just was not feasible to really, like, you look at, I think when people look at, like, consistency on a Linux desktop today, whatever people think about the design language itself, like libadwaita, really consistent design, that if GNOME has done a great job doing that specific goal.
Yep.
But especially with, how complex Oxygen was, right? As you're saying, this is just not, it was not feasible at the time.
Yeah, no. And props to GNOME. Like, I have deep respect for what I do. Deep. I remember the talks back then when they were starting with the new GNOME thing. We had a joint conference in Berlin, and I had a chat with the guys there about, okay, are you guys going to really do this? And they really did it, and it's great. But it also requires something that I'm not willing to be, which is very much a design despot. And yeah, they have to be that. If you want absolute, like, really good consistency, you have to block, not only the freedom of developers to do their thing. That's a granted. You have to block them in order to do whatever they want to. You also have to block the user from doing their thing, because users will mess things up. I always was more on the approach that, okay, if the user wants to mess it up, that's a user problem. Hey, it's your desktop. It's the user's desktop. It's not my desktop. I give you a version of it. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, dude, sure. As long as you're doing open source, that's it. You're already winning. And that's great. I think even it's great that in open source we have visions like GNOME and KDE and living together and then trying different things. I think it's great. I do fully agree that consistency in KDE, massive problem. Massive problem. It's really, really hard. And it's not easy to do within the way KDE does things. Right. Within the way KDE does things.
7 theming engines.
With 7 theming engines, not going to be easy. But on the other end, sometimes it does amazing things. Would I like to have the perfectly designed desktop? Perfect for who? It's going to be perfect for a couple of people that did it. You see what I'm saying? If you do this system that is very rigid and very well designed, yes, you get something polished. But there you lose a bit of freedom out of it. You lose the freedom to, okay, can you show in your image pink fluffy bunny theming? It's almost like a joke in KDE. Like there was a way we had pink fluffy bunny. I have nothing to do with it. Nothing. That was zero. People did that without me knowing. Maybe because they know me. But it's great. It's great that we had that. That level of insanity. I think it was an April Fool's joke. I'm not sure. It was kind of an April Fool's joke that turned into a real thing. Hey, it turned out to be a real thing. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Isn't that insanity? Okay, no, a lot of other people are going to search for pink fluffy bunny. It was. So this sort of thing is great, and I wouldn't lose it for anything. Even if, okay, we're going to lose a bit of consistency. Yes, maybe. It would be great. Okay, it would be like, give me 10 million. Give me 10 million. So I'll hire a team of designers. I'll have them in the payroll, and we'll force consistent design from now on. We'll put the team on all KDE apps, doing the top-to-down design review. Yes, that would be great. If we don't have that and we have to enforce very strict rules, and how do we enforce them without making the code stiff? I actually don't know how to fix it within maintaining the freedom. I don't have a perfect solution for that. I didn't ever. Hey, if you're a designer, join KDE. Well, we can do this.
Well, I think that lack of consistency sort of does lead into the thing we talked about earlier, right? Where KDE is this sort of place for design experimentation, right? Obviously, the default is going to have a certain level of consistency, but not expecting everything to be perfect, that does give freedom for those third-party themes to go and, play around with things, to do things which might be a little bit dumb, to like, just try something because they like it on their system, not necessarily because it's going to be something which globally works.
Yeah. Exactly that. Yeah, you said it all. That's something I believe that we should maintain at all costs. Like, do not break the freedom. Again, not KDE's desktop. It's KDE desktop. It's Plasma desktop, but it's fundamentally at least as the way I saw it always. It's the user's desktop.
Right.
We're just giving it to users. They are free, and they should be free to do whatever wacky things they come up with. Let's not like that. That's the ethos of KDE. We have the most messy system panel on the planet. It is like that. I know we could layer it better. I know we can make it easier to use. I try that. They brought it back to the current state. The fact that they brought it back to the current state tells you a lot about KDE. So in my time, I tried to get rid of the thing in the side and the expanding stuff that they have now, and I tried to put it more like Windows and Mac were. No, Windows were trying to do that back then, and Mac OS was also trying to do that back then, to put it like the grid of icons. Where basically we open a parent setting, and then you have more settings inside that setting thing. So basically an icon is a parent of a certain type, and you navigate through that a little bit vertically.
Right.
Versus this all of a much more flatter version that we have currently on the side that expands sideways.
Sure.
But yeah, we don't hide options from the users. That's a great thing. Well, we could hide them a little bit,
well,
but not remove them.
There's some things which were kind of hidden as we went into Plasma 6, because there were options there which were just, there is an incorrect option. It's like, if there is an option which is just not going to work on your system, why is that even an option? You should just be like, that should be something that's automatically being selected in the background.
Right. No, I absolutely agree. But those are the sort of things that, escape the radar. Like the guy that was doing it. Like sometimes people see KDE and see open source as this, almost like if it was Microsoft or it was or if it was Apple, and demand things from us like we were. Hey, dude, we're not even being paid. Relax. But the guy, it might be the guy doing that feature thing. It didn't cross his mind. He was doing it all by himself at 3 o'clock in the morning, and it is solving his thing, is scratching his itch. It puts it there, and now it works for him. Now, only when people start complaining, why do I see that? I don't even have that. Why is that on my face? He says, oh, all right, you're right. Most of the times it's this little micro interactions that need to occur. Like the guy needs to be told, oh, maybe we should turn that off if this is not applicable. Yeah, it happens a lot. It is what it is.
It is what it is. True.
Yeah.
So, do you have something there?
No.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, when you're working with other designers, you're working in a team, how do you avoid design by committee?
By being an asshole.
Okay.
That's it. Now, okay, so first level.
Okay.
First level, establish some sort of relationship with the designer. I need to trust the other designer. The other designer needs to trust me. That's level 1, 0 of things. If this doesn't work, there's okay. You do your thing somewhere else. I'll do my thing somewhere else as well. Done. Great. If we pass this level of us trusting each other, then it becomes easy. Then we can debate, play with things, see how, okay, what is your take on this? Okay, I would do it this way, and we keep on like iterating on this, and this works. There needs to be some sort of boss. There needs to be, if you want to something that is semi-coherent, there needs to be a guy, a maintainer, basically, like all projects. There needs to be a maintainer, someone that says that is willing to pull a line and say, okay, no, we're not doing this because. You agree, you don't agree, that's your prerogative. If you really don't, then you go and you do your own thing in the other project. But that is very similar to any other open source project. It's not fundamentally different from anything else. Because design by committee is particularly complicated on design, but it's a thing all over. And it's more complicated in design only for one reason. Everybody has a stupid opinion on design. Like, you don't need to know C++. You need to know C++ to have an opinion on most KDE apps, like internally, about how things work. And that puts the barrier, like, even the effort is massive. Like, I have to look at this goddamn 10,000 line of code just to have an opinion on it. Like, just this work grants you a level of respect on the other side. Okay, oh, you went and you look at the code. Come on, better listen to you. Undesigned things, people look at it and have an opinion, and they'll tell you about it. And it, yeah. So it's a little bit harder, but it's kind of the same problem. So if you understand that it's kind of the same problem, it becomes kind of easy. It's not super hard. I have made a ton of design friends in open source. Still happy. All the guys I was talking about, I'm friends with them. Even the GNOME guys, I'm friends with them. So yeah, you get to a point where you trust each other's method and you work together.
Maybe we should have done this the other way around. We're doing it like this. Who cares? What can be the result of design by committee? Why is it something you want to avoid?
Oh, design committee. If anyone has been a part of that, anyone that has been part of a design by committee has post-traumatic syndrome out of it. That's the only thing that comes out of design by committee. Design committee is where anything good dies. I'm going all in now. It's when all of these opinions from people that shouldn't have an opinion are equally as valid as your opinion. And it's not that theirs is worse than yours. It's probably is not. There's no wrong opinions on design. Or I'm not even going design. Let's call it, I'm going to call it art. I don't like calling design art, but I'm going to call it now because this is the field of subjective opinions, which design shouldn't even mess with. But there is this aspect. A design by committee is field of subjective, incompatible opinions. And if you want to do a design by committee, it's going to be the either the minimum common denominator, and you get like an absurdly simplistic design, or the maximum common denominator, and you get Omer's car. And if you don't get the reference, you can show it on just Google Omer's car, which is a clear reference of design by committee, and you get one of those. Great great episode to watch.
How do you spell that?
Hey, Homer Simpson's car.
Homer Simpson. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
Sorry. No, I just.
Yeah. Okay. No. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I know.
So usually the result, but more common than not, that's the result. Design by committee gives you that. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody wants to leave their mark, and it's not consistent. It was a perfect car for Homer Simpson. He loved it. Only him.
I feel like that was the first time this episode that the accents tripped me up on something. We've been good so far.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. Yeah, no, I definitely see what you mean here. So basically, you can either have the the only things that everyone agrees on, or you have a bit of everything, and it just doesn't fit together.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Either way, it's
any fight, and you have terrible fights about it.
Right.
Terrible fights.
Right.
Like, because you have to. I used to do something. So as customers, my worst type of customer is a customer that I know they will have a meeting with multiple people about the design. Because if I know that they will, I can't deliver a good solution at the first one. Because people have a meeting and people have to say something, and they will have to contribute to the meeting. And if they have to contribute and be meaningful and be worth their while, they have to give you feedback. AKA, it is impossible for your solution, your initial solution, to be perfect because it wasn't reviewed. So if you're a really nasty person, I'm not. If you were a really nasty person, the ideal design for such a situation would be a design good, but with obvious flaws.
Right.
That you didn't design for that exact situation, right? Where they will point them out, show it to you. You get to tell them, great, change it, and get it approved. I would never do that.
Yeah, okay. In video games, we call this basically signposting. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody knows a version of this somewhere. Like everybody does. Yeah.
Definitely wouldn't do that. No, absolutely not. So
it's a sort of design, to be fair. It was all part of the experience.
If you've got to deal with if you have to deal with annoying clients, right? I can see why. I can understand.
No, it's just really to get to somewhere. Okay, there is a little bit of autistic in me. Yeah, it's just a smidge. So I want to get from A to B as fast as possible. This is just trying to get from A to B as fast as possible, because I know that and I will avoid the frustration of having to defend, which is terrible. If you put your heart, and on design, we tend to put our hearts into solutions. We think them through and we get attached to them. It's really hard to give that up. Like, we get really attached to our micro decisions. I know when they're questioned, you get defensive. I can be blamed for that a lot of times. So this sort of trickery, where you already put something bad so that it can point them out, so that you avoid. You already put yourself in the state of mind that you know that you're going to have to say to something that, yes, that was wrong, we need to fix it, versus getting again exposed to your own incompetence. That's a harder flow in terms of interaction.
Right.
So it's a sort of design again. I'm just designing a experience. I'm not designing experience because I want to do that.
So nowadays, the look of KDE is the Breeze style. I personally like Breeze. Breeze I think it's great. But what do you hope for the future of design in KDE? If you could just do something, what would you want a future to be? Or are you happy with the direction things are going right now?
I think personally, they also believe they are going to change it a bit.
I know there's work going on the Ocean stuff. Yeah.
Ocean. They are going to change it a bit. I think, I know, it's better than I think. I know this. People are fed up with. People haven't realized, but they will realize soon that people are a little bit fed up with a very monochromatic. I don't like calling it flat, but the flat style is kind of dead. And I know these things usually with 2, 3, 4 years in advance. It's just what designers do. Like, and you see that with neomorphism and the craziness in Apple. I don't like the glass thing. I did implement it in QML just to see if I could. I did that crazy thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's all over the place. I'm not a fan. But you see this coming, and it's like a train. Exactly the same sort of train that I saw coming at me when modernism or the pseudo-modernism was coming. I saw, okay, my language, the way I express myself is dated. I need to extract myself and change as a designer, or because these things are like trains. You can't stop them. And if you don't, and if you think you can, I think you don't understand design. So KDE will need to do, I think the refresh from what I see on Ocean will keep it up, will make it viable for a couple more years. In terms of what looks today, I think it will keep it viable for a few more years. I'm not exactly sure, because I'm sure that neomorphism is just a fad. It's also, I'm pretty sure it's going to fade away. But as generations move, it's a fact of life.
Right.
People want to say they are different from their parents.
Yes.
So they will try to find something different. A new generation will try always to find something different just to prove that they are different. That they can stand and step on the creation of others and create their own new thing. And they see visual, that's why design is such a thing that changes with years. And we keep on looking back, because I can go to memorabilia, which auction is kind of a thing. It's just memorabilia coming on. Anyway, people will need change and need to express themselves, and they use design items to express themselves and to define their own individuality as it is. And because designers kind of work in like a big posse, like a couple of guys come up with a new idea and then everybody copies it like crazy. A new thing will come up and it will become the norm, and everybody will be doing that sort of thing. And if you're not doing that sort of thing, it doesn't matter that you're right, you're wrong. So, but I don't know exactly what new is coming. If I did, I would be doing it.
Yeah,
I wish
there is definitely, I see what you mean. There's definitely like some sort of shift that is happening. Like, obviously, people have a lot of opinions on the Apple Glass nonsense. I can see that Apple wanted to be like a design trend setter with this. They wanted to do something so different that, either people are going to follow it or they're going to stand out as unique. What's going to happen next is really unclear, but I definitely do see some more experimentation than we'd seen for a long time, because I do remember for quite a while, and even with Windows 11, right? Windows 11 had even shifted somewhat from what was being done with 8 and 10. Not as much as, like, Apple has shifted, but there's clearly people are willing to step out of that barrier again.
Yeah. And to be fair, I kind of liked what they did in the past versions of Windows. I thought that they brought a lot of consistency to the design language that they have. I know that me saying this is not popular at all. People love to step on it.
Sure.
I think it's fine. Apple, I do get it. Most people. So what's going on in Apple? Well, I think I get it. I don't know anyone now in Apple. But I think what's going on is they was trying to bring all the stuff that they had on the 3D space, on the Google Glass, or on the 3D. How do you call that? absurdly expensive thing
The
that
Vision Pro, that one.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The thing that they failed so bad at it.
Yeah.
Well, the price wouldn't help. But they were trying to bring that into everywhere. Because they use that a lot on the 3D, and on the 3D it makes a lot of sense because you do want to show something in behind. That's how you can, and it's kind of a brag thing, but if you see it on 3D, you see this glassy object and you see what's behind it, which is reality, and you need to ground people on reality. That's like the 3D thing, without, so it doesn't become super annoying and super nauseous. It brings that class, and then when you have that there, okay, then we need to bring that all over to everywhere. They went overboard. In my opinion, my very ignorant idea. It's cool as hell. It's a lot of. I tried the shaders, the shader stuff. It's really cool. Yeah.
It's absolutely technically impressive. No doubt about that.
Yeah, that is all very good. Is it cool to use? I don't think so. I have a few colleagues using Mac, and when they're showing the screen sharing their thing, like, oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry.
No, it's fine. You can swear.
Yeah, for F's sake, no, that's not a fan. Not a fan. Yeah, we'll see. But the understanding that they are trendsetters, and whatever they do gets absurdly copied and then becomes the norm. And if you're not the norm, you are a old guy. And you're not hip anymore. That's a fact. We cannot fight against that, no matter what everybody says. Hey, oxygen is becoming popular again. I know why. It's what we do all the time. Years go by, and what was cool when you were a kid is cool again when you revisit it. It reminds you of other happier times. It is a fact of life. And yeah, that's a little bit what's going on in production. This is not a good way of selling it, but it is a fact. And maybe, and because this is a fact, I know that there will be implications of this sort of thing on the design field, on the design space. I'm a little bit scared. I don't know what all of the AI influence is going to have on creation of design. Because now the accessibility, like, see, I got upset because anyone could do simple icons. I got upset because, okay, now now you don't need your 10,000 hours on Inkscape in order to do something fancy and shiny and realistic. No, everybody can do it. This is going to bring that sort of effect multiplied by 1,000, because now everybody that has an opinion will go to the AI thing and spew out pseudo inconsistent designs with more fingers than they need, less fingers than they should. But in a certain style, and I'm not sure what the impact of all of this will have to the landscape, because the visual landscape will change. It might be that everything becomes a massive average and it becomes stale, because that's what it can do. It can do average. It does average really well. And things will become stale. But even then, not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. The design space is one that I've just not really considered with AI. Like, I've seen it's just too inconsistent for me to see it really be used seriously in that. Obviously for like one-off things, right? Like, this is a one-off commercial, this is a one-off poster, things like that. It does a fine enough, not great, but a fine enough job. But for something at the scale of Oxygen, where you want to have that large design, I don't even know if it would be able to approach a problem like that where we are today.
I don't think, no, I hope it doesn't. Yeah. But I'm more thinking about the landscape, what people see every day when they look at design objects, as design
Right.
creations.
Well, and
If the
also what
market,
the
yeah,
tools that new designers have access. And this is a thing that exists. This exists with the programming space as well, right? I have friends who work in like game development school and various other programming schools, and basically all of the students are using AI in their development workflow. This is just the
yeah,
norm now. I don't know about
yeah.
design. I would assume to some extent that is there as well. Maybe I don't know. I can't really speak on that.
It is starting to creep in a lot,
Mhm.
and it saves you a ton of work, especially on the paid area, on where you have to, make deliverables, to create design systems, which is extremely boring stuff. And the AI tools will help you a lot with that. So it'll write all of the gibberish thing all for you, and that is creeping in a lot. There is this weird space where AI sucks, because it's really good at creating images based on the noise stuff, right? So the denoising creates a lot of images. Fine. Vector stuff, it's really hard for AI, because you have code that looks like nothing and you have visual result. There's no way to denoise the code into a result. They haven't. If you ask one of the AI thingies to generate SVG, the results are bad, pathetic, because it doesn't make sense. Like, it's code, but the goal is the visual. So you have to keep these two things at the same time, and the denoising is completely different. It's actually, it's more like a dream. I have no idea I have some idea how the denoising works, but it has nothing to do with LLMs. So the AI can fix my SVG code, yes, because he knows how good SVG code is written. But with the goal of creating something visually nice, this is why 0.00007543 is better than 0.00. No, the code doesn't. So that side of design, I think it's okay for a few years, if it's not rectangles with gradients. Oh, dude.
Oh yeah.
Those the gazillions of those. That's pretty much all of the AI generated bullshit. I'm sorry, stuff. Design.
Well, even if we get to a point where it is generating SVGs that look good, I can only imagine just how nonsensical they would be to edit. Like what it puts together to get to that good looking design.
What would it be? I have no idea. No, it's going to be fine. It's probably going to be better if it was actually good. If it looked actually good. If that's a problem for you, do not look at my SVGs. They
Fair
are
enough.
megabytes of megabytes, and I really have a hard time fixing things that I made 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, wow, this is complex. What the hell was I thinking? Yeah, sort of thing. Like the other day we're in Oxygen trying to fix a few problems with old wallpapers that we have. And on vector space, when you're doing like a big gradient, if you do a big gradient, 8-bit is we always say, well, we have so many colors in with 32-bit colors. No, you don't. A gradient usually from max to minimum has 256 stops, and this is like ideal black to white change. It's not that many. A big white gradient, you start to see the banding, which is literally the stops, and you can actually see it. Like, please give me 10 bits, but we don't have 10 bits. AKA, how do I fix those problems when I want like a very smooth gradient, something really cool? You would do dithering, but you don't do dithering because you can't generate the higher. Like I would like Inkscape to generate my 10-bit per channel images so I could like run a dithering on it and get like nice dithery and fool my brain in an 8-bit. I can't have that. So how did I fix that? In the past, like I started adding noise and I started like doing jiggly gradients. Like I would do stars so I could break the stupid banding and I could still see it. And I would then get very nervous and frustrated and start to play with blurring and more noise. And I keep layering and layering. See, incompetent designer does more and more and more and more and more and more on top to fix it. Maybe another paint of lipstick will fix the pig. I don't think that's how you say it.
Yeah, I think people worked it out. It is interesting you talk about dithering there. This sort of goes back to what we were saying before, right? Design trends loop back. Dithering was a very popular trend back in the 90s, back in the 80s, where you had very limited color palettes. This was an incredibly common tactic in video games to, simulate having.
If you're dealing colors.
If you 16 colors, how do you have how you dither? That's how you do it.
Yeah.
So it's cool to hear you talk about that and like as like a way to deal with a modern problem.
And we saw all of the resurgence of the retro style games. I know the customer for those games. It's the customer that can actually now pay for them without and not pirate them like we used to when we were kids and we were having fun with them. And now we want to grab that fun again. And plus, now we are actually a paying customer, much better than the old one. Yeah. But yeah, things go. Keep on researching.
What have we not talked about here? I feel like we've jumped around so much that I'm forgetting what we've even discussed.
That's the only way I can talk. That's why I can't do like proper presentations. I do them, but I struggle so much, like trying to keep the script. What is a script? I can only ramble.
Actually, I guess we can go back to, we didn't really expand upon this properly. You were saying a while ago that flatness isn't like modernism. You consider it to be postmodernism. If you want to expand upon that and what you mean, we can go there.
So okay. So when modernism came, the flatness, it was being sold as modernism. So if you look into modernism, me with my civil engineer in the family that all does buildings, and my sister is an architect and all that stuff, I know that story a little bit well. So modernism was basically when we broke like the architectural stuff. It was a very big thing in architecture. I love modernism. I'm pro modernism. It tried to break away with excessive decoration because it was fake. So when you see a old building, an old stone building with elaborate decoration,
British church.
Let's
go with that. That'll work.
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect.
All of that stuff as intrinsic value. But at the end, at the start of modernism, all those things were being cast with molds. It was concrete, made to look like a stone.
Right.
What was the intrinsic value of that? It is limited. It was just decoration for decoration's sake. It didn't even show the value of the artist that carved the stone, because now it's industrially made to look old.
Right.
And all of the modernists look at that. This is. I'm going to break the castle and make something new. And they went for something ultra simplistic. So we had new materials. We could have spans. We didn't need archways. We could have like massive spans that would open up the space. We could put the structure of the building on the outside and leave the inside for users. We could do all the things, and this is kind of the story of modernism. And we could get away from the fakeness. And the designer story when flatness came was very much the same. They they sold it exactly like this. I don't think that is true.
Mhm.
And I don't think in a computer that applies. There's nothing real in a computer. Like, it doesn't make sense. And all of the metaphors we use on a computer,
Mhm.
they are real. Like, okay, we're not going to make a button like a button except the name.
Mm.
A button was always a button. A radio button was a radio button because we were copying the radio button.
Mhm. Mhm.
All of the metaphors we use on a computer are based on things that we had lying around. The switches look like things you could have on old radios. It all felt a little bit silly to me, and like people were trying to get rid of drop shadows. They tried for a couple of weeks and realized, yeah, we do need volume, or else people don't understand Z level. Press thing, like even like we see press a button. We say press a button. You're not pressing anything. What? It's pixels on the screens. Yeah, the metaphor is so ingrained in us that we cannot escape it. It is stupid to escape it. It will be changed for the sake of change.
Mhm.
So I felt that it was very silly,
Mhm.
and all that was going on was postmodernism. Postmodernism is what comes after modernism, with a massive. The sentence I love the most is Robert Venturi's. It's an architect, really well known. Got a Pritzker Prize. And the sentence is less is a bore.
Mm.
Versus the sentence that defines modernism, that is less is more.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I hate what postmodernism. I hate the buildings from Robert Venturi. Sorry, if you're a postmodernistic person, I hate them. I don't like the style at all. But I love the sentence.
Mm-hmm.
I love that less is a bore, and I want to have fun. But then I realized something, and this was like my conclusion to my period. Not even modernism was modernistic. So, like the king of modernism, which was Mies van der Rohe, a very well-known architect. If you go and look, his buildings are really clean, super modernistic, very straight angles,
Mm-hmm.
genius. But his furniture is so neoclassic. It's all like chairs that look like Roman and Roman inspired, and they fit the minimalistic look so great. But is that modernism? Isn't that an extremely decorative
Mm-hmm.
element for no good reason except that it looks super cool? And it does really look super cool, I agree. And it's not his real name. His real name, the Van der, is an appropriation. He was a German guy, but the Van der is a Dutch appropriation that makes it sound more posh.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't his real name. So even him decorated, used things for decoration,
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
decoration's sake. Its own name. So even the real modernism, which I love Helvetica, which everybody will look at me like really, really poorly at me, just like, oh, dude likes Helvetica. Terrible. I love Helvetica. I love all of those modernistic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they take themselves a little bit too seriously.
Mm.
And there's a grain of bullshit, and we just kind of like the look. I do like the look. I even like brutalism, which, Jesus, that's, yeah, a little bit too much, maybe. But I like it.
Oh. Let me
Yeah.
see. Ah, yes. Okay.
You search brutalism?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. If you search Brazilian brutalism, that's a different type of brutalism. That's way nicer. Yeah, they changed it from gray to white, and boom.
What the hell?
Oscar Niemeyer and things like that. It's amazing. Well, anyway.
What is... Okay. Yeah, that's... Yeah.
Also brutally. Yeah,
It's
wouldn't
like
expect like yeah.
how would I describe it? It's kind of like a...
Oh right, the Sydney Opera is brutalistic as well.
Okay, okay. Well, some of the examples I'm seeing here, I'm thinking like there is like a certain type of like post-apocalyptic sci-fi kind of world.
No, that's the not the Brazilian. That's like the Eastern European brutalism, which is the most common. That's the one people get really psyched about. There is, if you would see the projects as they were in the when they were created, it wouldn't look that bad. They didn't age well.
Right.
Let's call it like that. They didn't age well. They were all made in a certain area of the world that, like, the ethos back then saw it like a very depressing area of the world. So there's cross-pollination into sci-fi that use that a lot. And you see that in sci-fi using that sort of scenarios.
Right.
For dystopian, very strong state kind of thing. And then you cross-associate that into brutalism. Is it fair? Those states did want to pose themselves as really strong and sturdy. And then they mass-produce things because they believe people were entitled to housing. Crazy things.
If the buildings were made anything like the cars were made, I can understand why they didn't age well.
Actually, they stand really well. The problem was they were made really well with a lot of concrete.
Right. Okay.
Lots and lots of concrete. Civil engineer, it's good. It lasts. Yeah, it doesn't age well from a visual perspective.
Sure.
If you make it apparent on the outside, you don't even need to paint it ever, which also doesn't help you in terms of look. Like, it's a good thing that you paint a building. You have to paint it, and it kind of looks new every time you paint it. If it's bare concrete, you're not supposed to paint it. There, it will just accumulate dirt and filth on top of it, which contributes to a very austere look. It's gray in nature, and it rains. Yeah. Brutalism. Another, and we started on what?
Who even knows? Who knows? Yeah. It doesn't even matter at this point. We could just keep going, but I do need to sleep at some point.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to go and check out whatever you're involved in now, where can they go find stuff?
I really need to put the new website on. It's on, but it's horrible. But you go to the Telegram channel where we keep on saying rambling things. That's a good start. Place to start. You will be insulted, I promise.
Yeah. Nothing else. That's pretty much it. Okay. I guess I'll do my outro and then we'll sign off. Okay. My main channel is Brody Robertson. I do Linux videos there 6-ish days a week. Sometimes I stream as well. Rarely, but I sometimes do. I've got the gaming channel that is Brody on Games. Right now, I'll be playing... Actually, I don't know what I'm playing right now because this has got a bit of a delay until it comes out. Maybe Metal Gear Solid. I don't know. Check it out. Something will be there. And if you're watching the video version of this, you find the audio version basically every podcast platform at Tech Over Tea. There is an RSS feed as well. Check it out if you like RSS feeds. The video is on YouTube at Tech Over Tea. Also, we have Spotify video as well if you like Spotify video. How do you want to sign us off? What do you want to say?
Goodbye.
Simple. I like it.